and shoved them through the buttons of her carefully ironed blouse. The man gave her some paper money. "That's 5 Canadian dollars. For food," he said. The port was thick with other people who had lost their homelands in the war, just like us. Vendors competed with each other, trying to sell us food. They shouted things like milk, apples, and bread. Marusia had tried to learn some English in the DP camp, and so had I, so we could understand some of the words. Marusia wanted to buy meat sandwiches and a bottle of milk, but she didn't know the word for sandwich. When she finally got a vendor to understand her, he wanted too much money. We needed to be careful so our money would last. I was hungry and thirsty and thought I would die of heat. But at least we were safe. "I think that is a food store," I said, pointing to a building with a pyramid of tin cans displayed in the window. The door of the building opened and a man walked out. He carried what looked like a loaf of bread. "Let us try," said Marusia, pushing me toward the store. When we opened the door, it was even hotter inside than outside. A rosy-faced man with a barrel belly and a shiny, hairless head grinned at us. "Food?" said Marusia in English, holding the $5 bill up for the man to see. "Not much left," said the man in English, gesturing with his hands to help us understand. We looked around the store. He was right. The cans arranged in a pyramid had pictures of different vegetables on them. There were sacks of flour and rice, but no buns or cheeses or sausage or anything that could be eaten without preparation. "Bread?" asked Marusia. The storekeeper shook his head sadly. We were about to leave when the man's face brightened. He crooked his finger and we followed him to the back corner of the store. As he opened up a giant box, a whoosh of lovely, icy air enveloped us. He pulled out what looked like a large white cardboard brick. "Ice cream," he said, grinning. "I scream?" Marusia asked, puzzled. No, the man said. I was as confused as Marusia. What did this screaming thing have to do with bread? The man grabbed the cardboard brick and took it to the front counter. He frowned in concentration as he shuffled through a box under his cash register. Smiling, he held up 2 flat wooden spoons. "Now you'll see," he said, peeling back a paper layer from the cold brick. A vanilla scent swirled toward us. "Ice," said the man. Then, "cream." He took one of the wooden spoons and dragged it across the surface of the brick. A cold ball formed. He poised it on the spoon and held it to my mouth. "Taste," he said. I clamped my mouth shut. "I will try," said Marusia in her careful English. The man held the spoon to her open mouth and dropped in the cold ball as if he were feeding a bird. Her eyes widened with shock. I was so glad that I hadn't tried it first. But then she grinned. "Good," she said. She rolled a bit onto the other spoon and gave it to me. I touched the strange food with the tip of my tongue. It reminded me of a snowball. I put the entire spoonful into my mouth and shivered at the shock of cold, creamy sweetness. It wasn't just the wonderful taste, but the sensation of cold on a hot, sticky day. It was heavenly. $5, said the storekeeper. Marusia blanched. A whole $5 for this strange new food? She shook her head. "You eat, you buy," he said sternly. Marusia reluctantly held up our $5 bill. "But this is all we have." The shopkeeper grabbed it from her fingers. "Please," she said, tears welling up in her eyes. The shopkeeper gave us a pitying stare. He reached into his till and took out a $1 bill. Marusia took it. We walked out of the store, Marusia clutching our precious ice cream to her chest. We were barely halfway down the block when she cried, "Oh no, look,